What really crashed in the New Mexico desert back in 1947? Was it a weather balloon, a secret military project, or something not of this world? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most enduring mysteries of all time, the Roswell Incident. It all started in early July 1947, near Roswell, New Mexico. A rancher named Mac Brazel discovered a strange debris field scattered across his property. The material was unlike anything he'd ever seen. There were metallic-like foils that could be crumpled up, but would immediately spring back to their original shape without a crease. There were lightweight, I-beam-like structures with strange, hieroglyphic-like markings on them. Confused, Brazel collected some of the material and, a few days later, showed it to the local sheriff, George Wilcox. Sheriff Wilcox, equally baffled, contacted the Roswell Army Airfield. Major Jesse Marcel, the base's intelligence officer, was sent to investigate. When Marcel saw the debris, he was convinced it was something extraordinary. He loaded up his car with the strange materials and brought them back to the base. The initial reaction was sensational. On July 8, 1947, the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release that sent shockwaves around the world. The headline read, "RAAF captures flying saucer on ranch in Roswell region." The story was picked up by newspapers globally. For a brief moment, it seemed like humanity had made contact, but then, just as quickly as the story broke, it was retracted. The very next day, the military held a press conference. They presented what they claimed was the actual debris, remnants of a standard weather balloon with a radar reflector. General Roger Ramey posed for photos with the balloon fragments, and Major Marcel was ordered to go along with the story. The official explanation was that the initial excitement was a mistake, a simple misidentification by personnel on the base. The flying saucer was just a weather balloon, and just like that, the Roswell story was officially closed. Or was it? For decades, the incident faded into relative obscurity. It was just another quirky footnote in local history, but in the late 1970s, something changed. Major Jesse Marcel, now retired, decided to break his silence. In interviews with UFO researchers Stanton Friedman and William Moore, Marcel revealed that the weather balloon story was a cover-up. He insisted that the material he found was not from this Earth. He described its incredible properties, the unbendable, unburnable foil, and the strange markings. Marcel's testimony was a bombshell. It reignited public interest and transformed Roswell from a forgotten incident into the cornerstone of modern ufology. Following Marcel's lead, other witnesses began to come forward. People who were there in 1947 started telling their stories, many for the first time. Glenn Dennis, a local mortician, claimed he received a call from the Roswell base asking about child's coffins and how to preserve bodies that had been exposed to the elements. A nurse, whose identity Dennis protected, allegedly told him she had witnessed alien bodies being autopsied at the base hospital before she was mysteriously transferred. Walter Hott, the public relations officer who wrote the original flying saucer press release, left a sealed affidavit to be opened after his death. In it, he confirmed that he had seen not only the craft but also the bodies of its non-human occupants. He described them as small, with large heads and big eyes. These first-hand accounts painted a picture far more complex than a simple weather balloon crash. The story evolved. It wasn't just debris. It was a fully intact craft that had crashed, and the military had recovered not just the wreckage, but its crew. The narrative of a massive government conspiracy to hide the truth began to take shape. Witnesses spoke of intimidation by military personnel, threats to remain silent, and a systematic effort to erase the event from history. The sheer number of credible witnesses, from military officers to civilian contractors and local residents, made the story impossible to dismiss outright. Each testimony added another piece to the puzzle, suggesting a coordinated cover-up of unprecedented scale. The public pressure became so intense that in the 1990s, the United States Air Force was forced to reopen the case. They released two comprehensive reports. The first, in 1994, updated the official story. It wasn't a standard weather balloon, they admitted, but a top-secret high-altitude balloon from a program called Project Mogul. This project was designed to monitor the atmosphere for sound waves generated by Soviet nuclear bomb tests. The balloons carried radar reflectors and sensor equipment, which the Air Force argued would look strange and unfamiliar to a civilian like Mac Brazel. They claimed the hieroglyphs were simply floral patterns on tape used by the manufacturer. This explanation addressed the debris, but what about the bodies? In their second report in 1997, the Roswell Report, case closed, the Air Force offered a different explanation. They suggested that the alien bodies people remembered seeing were actually anthropomorphic test dummies, like crash test dummies, used in high-altitude parachute drop experiments. These dummies were dropped from balloons to test new equipment. The Air Force argued that over time, people's memories had become distorted, conflating the 1947 debris incident with these later experiments involving dummies in the 1950s. They essentially blamed the entire alien body narrative on time compression and faulty memory. But for many researchers and believers, these reports created more questions than answers. Critics pointed out major inconsistencies. Project Mogul balloons were made of materials like neoprene and foil paper, which don't match the descriptions of the indestructible memory matter-like material given by witnesses like Jesse Marcel. Furthermore, the timeline for the test dummies doesn't add up. The main dummy drops, part of Project High Dive, didn't begin until 1953, a full 6 years after the Roswell incident. It seems like a stretch to believe that witnesses would confuse two separate events so many years apart, especially when their memories of the 1947 event were so vivid and specific. And what about the sheer number of witnesses who claimed they were intimidated into silence? The Air Force reports largely dismissed these claims or ignored them. The deathbed confessions, the sealed affidavits, the consistent stories from dozens of unrelated people, all of these elements suggest something more than just a misidentified balloon or conflated memories. The idea that a top-secret military project needed a cover story is plausible. But why use a flying saucer as the initial cover, only to retract it with a less exciting but still false weather balloon story? Why would a cover-up for a surveillance balloon program be so elaborate and maintained so aggressively for over 70 years? So, where does that leave us? We have three main theories. Theory 1, the official story. A top-secret Project Mogul balloon crashed, and the military created a cover story to protect its Cold War surveillance efforts. Everything else is a product of folklore, exaggeration, and confused memories. Theory 2, the extraterrestrial hypothesis. An alien spacecraft crashed, and the US government recovered the technology and its non-human occupants. They initiated an immediate and ongoing cover-up to prevent public panic and to reverse engineer the advanced technology for their own military advantage. Theory 3, something in between. Perhaps it wasn't an alien craft, but an advanced experimental human aircraft, maybe even a captured Nazi-era flying wing or a secret Soviet device. A crash of this nature would certainly warrant an extreme level of secrecy and a multi-layered cover story. The truth of what happened in Roswell in July 1947 remains one of the most hotly debated topics of our time. Was it weather equipment, a secret spy plane, or visitors from another world? The government has given its official answers, but for the dozens of witnesses and millions of people around the world, the case is far from closed. The debris, the bodies, the conflicting reports, and the decades of secrecy have created a legend that refuses to die. Roswell is more than just a place. It's a symbol of our deepest questions about our place in the universe and our trust in those in power. What do you think really crashed in the New Mexico desert? Was it a simple balloon, or the beginning of the biggest secret in human history? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more mysteries. See you next time.